previous over. It's been really tidy bowling from the Fijians.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, good lengths mainly. Nothing really drivable so far. Although that one's a bit fuller. Close to being signalled wide, possibly. She really had to reach for that one, Peter. And
umpire Claire Polisak there, just adjudicating it slightly inside that blue line, which is used for guidance, and she's of course joined by Alu Kappa today, the standing officials, both very experienced match officials, so wonderful to have them in this afternoon's match. And as I say that, Alu Kappa just calling the no ball there as it above the waist, so it looks like it'll be a free hit for Miriama Pitta.
Indeed it is. And also a free miss.
Very tidy over there from Wanganasau. No runs off the bat, and she'll be very happy with the way that over finished, I would have thought.
Yeah, 8 without loss. I mean, Fiji really had a tough time of it yesterday. They, wow, PNG scored 171, batting never really in it at any point in their chase. Match finishing fairly early.
Yeah,
bundled out for around 30 from memory.
Yeah, when they had PNG yesterday 2 for 20, it was a really solid start, but we talked a bit about it in this morning's match. That partnership between Roger Durai and Lohia took the game away from Fiji, and yeah, it was always going to be a tough run chase, wasn't it? So they'll be hoping today, Fiji, to take their chances, try and keep Samoa to a lower score.
Yeah. On to strike. And she plays that baseball style up to mid-off, and there's a misfield there. And they only get through for a single. So good recovery there. That was Vuli. She's fielding at mid-off.
Just the one run there. Could have potentially looked for 2, but they were very comfortable just to, the old adage, never run off a misfield. Didn't want to test that, and happy just to take the one run.
Here's Tanu'u facing this time. Thought that you just had about never running on a misfield. Wonder who actually invented that concept. Whether it's, I don't think it's out of a coaching manual or anything like that, but someone obviously thought.
Definitely not in any coaching manual, that's for sure, because some of those rules, I've just got someone from Cricket Australia, Brian Harper, in my head, who loves these sayings and these myths and debunking the myths in cricket. Never run off a misfield. Well, why is that? Sure, you can run off a misfield, but maybe it is to do with the confusion that it sometimes causes between the batters and miscommunication.
Oh, it's a lovely delivery from Isamelli there, beating Tanu'u outside her off stump. Tanu'u's, of course, a fairly famous name when it comes to Samoan sport. I think of Fisa Tanu'u, played for the All Blacks and played for Manu Samoa as well, as they call the rugby side. This next one is on Tanu'u's pads, and there's a shout for LBW and given. Oh, well, from the I was going to say from the naked eye, but obviously we're not in line here. So Tanu'u was playing across her pad, and it was a full-length delivery. And she's on her way, LBW, as we see a replay now. Pretty good shout. Looked like it might have been angling down leg. The keeper was going a long way down leg, which is always a little bit of a telltale sign, but anyway, she's on her way, and Fiji strike early.
Yeah, big wicket there. I mean, we're not directly behind the stumps, so we can't quite tell, but it looked pretty close. Looked to be clipping leg stump there. So it's always, you're always a chance if you get hit on the pad, particularly full and straight. And really good moment there for Isabelli to pick up her first wicket of the day.
Yeah, and that brings the danger player, Varane, to the crease. And immediately she lofts one out into the deep. Deep mid wicket's coming around to cut that off, and they'll just take the single. No, they're going to come back for two. That's well run. So Varane, as she likes to do, she certainly has a scoring zone. We saw with Indonesia when they were defending a low score yesterday, or a lowish score, defending 71, they immediately tried to block off that scoring area at wide mid-wicket. And this time Peter is struck on the pad. Varane, in fact, sorry, they crossed, didn't they? She struck on the pad, and
yeah, I've loved the way Vera Farahane has gone about her cricket so far in the first few games, looking to attack the bowler straight as she comes in, and we've seen she can hit a pretty heavy ball, and when she hits it, it stays hit. And from a Fijian perspective, they'll be hoping to try and get her wicket early because they know how dangerous she can be.
So it's going to be Wanganisau to carry on. Clouds coming over ground here at Udiana as that one goes past the bat of Peter. A nice start to the over by Wanganisau.
That was a lovely delivery there, just the ball swinging out slightly. Of course, the captain for Fiji, Mele Wanganisau, should be happy with their start so far.
It's a wide delivery outside off stump. Peter looking to smash that one down the ground. Almost like a forehand tennis shot. It doesn't make contact and it's a wide. Of course, Fiji was guilty of bowling a lot of wides yesterday. Not Fiji, I'm talking about Samoa, aren't I? Samoa was bowling all the wides. Anyhow, that one is a dot ball through to the keeper. And so just looking at Fiji's field here, the two players out, one at long on, probably about 3/4 of the way to the boundary, one at deep mid wicket, about the same. Another swing and a miss.
Yeah, it looks like they've clearly, so having the protection there is astute captaincy.
Yeah.
And making it tough for Samoa to score.
And this one's a beautiful delivery. It's a good length ball just outside, keeping the pressure on, not giving away any easy runs. It might also be worth noting that, well, there's 2 balls left in the over, but Samoa not really looking to rotate the strike here. Maybe Varane fancies herself in the next over. She certainly likes that side of the ground, the Nusa Dua side of the ground, the eastern side of Udiana cricket ground. Yes, aside from the wide, this has been the outside edge, and at the end of 4 overs, Samoa are 15 for 1.
Yeah, it's a great start from the captain, Mele Wanganisau, yet to have a run scored off the bat. So obviously the Samoa morning's game and yesterday's game as well with Fiji. But a really solid start there from the captain. Hopefully, for Fiji's sake, her and Izimeli can break through for another couple of early wickets.
Here is Izimeli. And it's picked up and lofted into the deep, over the boundary for 6 by Varane. It was a full toss. Just with the stance she has, the high back lift, swung through that one. It sailed over the mid-wicket boundary for 6. No chance of a catch there.
Yeah, it's a great shot from Farane there. She likes it there, right in her hitting zone, and even with fielders back, it cleared the fence, and she adds to her 6 tally for the tournament.
Here she is again facing Izameli. This one's down the leg side. Signalled wide. Just get the impression what we saw yesterday with Varane is that where she struggled a little bit was against the slower bowling. I think she prefers the medium paces. Certainly likes it on or around the stumps. Very much not afraid to swing the bat, which she does again this time, but hits it straight to mid-wicket. No run.
Probably a slightly better area there to be bowling for Izameli, but it is hard when you've got someone of Farane's capability. When you're bowling to her, if you're just slightly bit off, it can easily go to the boundary. So
probably a bit like pitching to Babe Ruth. Here's Izameli again, and Farane this time goes down the ground. It's lofted. Mid-off's coming around and cuts it off. So just the one. So after that 6, it's a fairly good comeback from Izameli. She's gone for 19 though, midway through the 3rd over, or her 3rd over I should say. This is the 4th over of the innings, 5th over of the innings. Sun breaking through the clouds here. This time it's swung away and there's a misfield at mid-wicket. Mid-on's going to come in and cut that off, and it'll just be the 1 to Peter. So good rotation of the strike. Brings Farane back on strike with that on strike with that very familiar approach he has to batting. Just taps the bat a couple of times and holds the bat. High back lift. Swings through the line again to mid-wicket. There's a misfield, but they won't run this time. Probably quite wise, of course. She struck it very well, Farane. How are you enjoying the local food, Toby? The Indonesian lunch we have here?
Yeah, it's delicious, isn't it? The beef rendang was on offer today for lunch.
Yeah, a little bit of fish as well. Here is Izameli, and Farane slams that one out towards the boundary. Oh, great bit of fielding out there. Restricts just the 1 run. That was extremely well done. It was on the bounce, and never easy. The ball travelling at pace like that, and just the 1 run off that ball. So that takes Samoa on to 25 for 1 off the 5 overs. Peter's there on 7 and Farane on 10.
Yeah, that was brilliant fielding on the boundary there, and the local crowd loved that fielding, and I think the Indonesians will be probably going for Fiji today, noticing that if Fiji are to get up, Indonesia probably would move to the top of the table, so there's a bit of local support for Fiji.
Yeah, good to see the Indonesian team still here. Watching on as Farane works this one behind square, out towards where the Indonesian team are sitting in the stand and over the boundary for 4. A lovely strike there by Farane. She very much is the key wicket.
Yeah, Melee Wanganisau there, just probably getting a little bit too straight. First runs off the bat, off her bowling. She probably just needs to get back to where she was bowling the first 2 overs, and she could be a good chance of a wicket here.
Here is Farane again facing up to Wanganisau. Just played out to deep mid-wicket. It'll just be a single. That brings Peter on to strike. Farane on to 15. Samoa on to 30 for 1.
Yeah, I've loved the energy and intent from both Samoa and Fiji in today's game. There's high energy in the field from the Fijian team, searching for their first win in this tournament. But likewise, Samoa coming out really positive intent, trying to make the most of this power play. Of course, only 3 balls left in the power play, while only 2 fielders are allowed outside of the inner circle.
Here's Wanganisa, and this one's lofted in the air up towards mid-on, but falls safely. One further run to Peter. She moves on to 8. Samoa on to 31 for 1. So, you have to say Samoa's in a strong position. A lightning power play in terms of run rate, but very solid, just the 1 wicket down. And Farane this time drives that ball up to long on. They get through for a single. She moves on to 16.
Yeah, that's well bowled there by Wanganisa. That's probably the area she should be hoping to bowl. Happy to concede a single.
Here she is, Wanganisa, last ball of the over, and Peter hits that one up to mid-on. It's a thought of a run, but she's sent back by Farane. So it's a dot ball in the scorecard, as they say. And after 6 overs, Samoa batting first in this qualification match. They're 32 for 1, Peter's on 8, and Varane on 16. One thing I also wonder is why they have to signal the umpires. I guess it's to remind the players that it's the end of the power play. I guess that's the main reason. But they always seem to do it at to the scorers. And I've never quite understood what the reason is. Anyway, it's a new over, and we've got a bowling change here. First ball is wide. It's number 12. Oh, yes, it's Maui Tonga.
Yeah, I think the scorers are essentially the official scorers of the match, so every umpiring decision does need to be signalled to them, whether that's a boundary, it's an end of the power play. The communication between the scorers and the umpires is absolutely vital to any match of cricket.
As you say, signalling boundaries. We've just seen another one there from Varane, lofting that ball into the deep on the leg side.
Yeah, Vera Farane, she's on fire early, continuing her good form throughout this tournament. As Fiji just make a few changes in the field to try and protect that leg side a little bit more.
Here's Maui Tonga, and a swing and a miss from Varane. The ball outside off stump. Yeah, I guess it's a bit of a challenge, isn't it, when it's so obvious where a player's strength is. Not just a strength, just, you know, where the way she sets herself up. She's looking to hit the ball through the leg side. But it doesn't mean to say it's then easy to keep bowling consistently outside off stump without bowling wides. It's a short ball, and it's hit down towards our commentary position. I might even get a chance to field it. Not quite out to the boundary for 4 over extra cover. So,
as you say that, Farane just showing that she can hit the ball in different areas of the ground. Didn't she smash that? And there's no protection on the offside, and that was a no ball as well. So it will be a free hit, which Vera Farane, as we can see ourselves there on the screen, almost got it. Yeah. Andy couldn't quite reach.
Yeah, a bit slow to move there. And this one is played up to, oh wow, there's an interesting fielding position there. She was at a cow corner position, so they're really putting the protection out there, but she was probably 20 metres or so inside the boundary, and because Vera Farane timed it so well, it didn't take a run at all. This time she picks out the square leg boundary behind square for 4. So they can't protect everywhere on the leg side. Can't be in all places at once. And yeah. Farane goes on to 28 now. Samoa rollicking along at 46 for 1.
Yeah, when Vera Farane is in this kind of form, even with 4 players out on the leg side with that kind of power, 1 bounce also over the rope, it gets there pretty quickly.
Next one from Maui Tonga, and it's pulled by Farane. Oh, and that's a misfield, and it's gone for 4. So this is a productive over from a Samoa perspective as they bring up their 50. 4 fours plus the three plus the 4 off the no ball. So it's not the happiest of starts for Maui Tonga. Here she is again, what she can do. And Ferrani this time pulls it away in front of square and out to the boundary for another 4. So 5 fours from the over. One of them was off a no ball, plus there was a wide, so 22 runs off that over. So huge over for Samoa. They move on to 54 for 1 after 7 overs, going along at a run rate of 7.71. I feel a big total loading here, Toby.
Yeah, well, while Vera Ferrane is at the crease, the run rate is just absolutely racing along. So she is a key batter for the Samoan team, and yeah, taking 20 for herself off that last over as she moves to 36 off just the 17 deliveries.
This is Lala coming into the attack now, and Peter works that one into the leg side. Well, there was a pretty easy single there if they wanted it, but Vera Ferrani wasn't too keen to run for that one. Mind you, when you're hitting that many boundaries, what does the odd one here and there that you don't take matter? And this one is a quicker delivery from Lala, but it's wide of the off stump. Yeah, takes the score on to 55.
Yeah, it seemed like a bit of an effort ball, that one from Lala. It came through a lot quicker, but just slightly outside. Bit too far outside the off stump, and rightly called by Claire Polisak for a wide.
This one's played to mid wicket, and a good bit of fielding there. It's Hazelman, and he cuts off any chance of a single. Here comes Lala again. It's a short ball and it's down the leg side, and there's also a misfield at short fine leg, so they're going to get the wide plus a 1. They'll just get the extra 1, so 2 runs off that ball. It's just too short from Lala and misdirected down the leg side, and
brings the dangerous Ferrane on strike, and
yes,
the extra pace. We'll see how she deals with it.
Well, that one's outside off stump, and I think it's going to be signalled wide, but it may not quite get down to the boundary. Just waiting for the call from Claire Polsack. Is she going to signal?
Don't think it'll be wide. Just slightly over the leg stump there, and Ferrane missing out. Probably just that extra pace, just a little bit quicker, and for her first delivery to see that.
Lala again, it's short, and Ferrane doesn't time this one. She's not happy with herself. In fact, it's not Ferrane, it's Peter on strike now. That one. So Lala, 3 runs off the over so far, or 4 including the bye. 2 balls left in this first over from Lala on the northern end. And so last ball coming up of this 8th over. Lala jogging back to her mark. It's Peter on strike. It's wide again. No thought to a run. I've just noticed that Ferrani doesn't back up at all. Not that there probably was a run there on that one anyway, but yeah, just noticed she's well and truly anchored.
Well, we did
jankered, as they say in Indonesia.
Well, we saw in that earlier match today, with PNG, one of their key batters, Raja Durai.
Oh, it's got to be close.
That's a lovely ball.
LBW shout, but not given.
Raja Durai backing up almost, potentially a little bit too much, and unlucky to be run out at the non-striker's end. from a good strike from the batter, and so you always want to be a little bit slightly aware about backing up. Don't back up too much, but be ready for the run if it is there. And wasn't that a great last ball there from Lala? Just swung back nicely, and Miriama Pitta trying to avoid. It just followed her, and she's probably feeling it a little bit right now, still haunched over there. Hoping to get some ice on it probably later today, and obviously no matches tomorrow, so plenty of opportunity to rest up.
It's going to be Tokelau now to come into the attack on the southern end. As a cloud comes over the ground again. Still a nice breeze. Here is Tokelau. And it's picked up. There's a player out there. Oh, that's very unlucky. Ball spun when it bounced off the bat of Farane. Very unlucky for the fielder there at backward square, or long leg. Spun away from her and over the boundary for 4. So everything falling Farane's way at the moment.
Yeah, she's on a mission today, isn't she?
40 off 19.
Not letting any ball go to waste. That probably would have been a wide if she'd left it go, but thought there's runs for me here, and connected well and rewarded with a 4.
Yeah, she's facing up again, and this time it's pulled away to mid-wicket, and there's an attempt at fielding it there with the foot, although it's gone over the boundary for 4. So 2 balls from Tokelau, 2 boundaries to Farane. 44 off 20. Certainly a star of this tournament so far, Farane. Anything's possible at this stage, just in the 9th over. It's on 44. Here is Tokelau. It's short, wide outside off stump. It's signalled no ball actually. It's a free hit coming up. What's the rationale for that being a no ball? Is it just too far off the pitch or something?
Yeah, so
is that a rule?
It is a rule. So it's only a wide if it's between those blue lines, and you can see the white dotted line.
Yeah.
Once it becomes even wider than probably where those white dotted line is on the side of the pitch, then it becomes a no ball.
I see. Learn something new every day.
So that one will be a wide.
This one is a wide because it wasn't off the pitch, basically.
Exactly. So the free hit is still in effect for Vera Farane.
Here's Tokelau, and Farane picks it up from outside leg stump. There's a fielder down there. Oh, and it's a misfield, and don't think it went for 4. They're going to come back for a second anyway. Oh, it could be a run-out chance there. It's good shy at the stumps from the wicketkeeper Meke there.
Yeah, it was very casual running from Vera Farane. It looked like they were probably just going to be happy with 1, but then decided to come back for the second, and there was a moment there where it looked like it could have been a run-out, but got back safely and lives to fight another day.
Here's Tokelau, just the 3 legitimate deliveries so far in the over. This one's picked up by Farane, but it gets the toe end of the bat, and she also picks out the fielder coming in off the square leg boundary. So just the 1 run there. Peter just on 8 at the other end. She gets hold of that one, but there's a fielder there in the deep. A wide do here to Farane. Just a few paces on her run up. Oh, and is it an appeal for, is it LBW, is it? No, did it just miss leg stump?
Yeah, just missed leg stump. Somehow went between the batter Farane and leg stump. Unlucky not to get a wicket there, Tokelau. That missed by absolute millimetres. Just needs to be careful there, Farane.
Yep, she's got a 50 in sight here, 47 as it is. So 9 overs gone, Current run rate 8.11. So they're going along nicely, Samoa. And here's Lala again. This is a wide down the leg side, or is it? Yes, it's a wide down the leg side. So it's Peter on strike. Here comes Lala again. Fires that one in, and it's a bouncer in fact, and Peter tries to pull that one, gets a top edge, and there's a fielder at a very fine short fine leg. I don't think I've ever said that before. Very short.
Almost took the catch there, and it was quite a good, well-directed bounce there from Peter.
Interesting fielding position. And this one's just defended. Yes, it's a deep leg slip. Actually, is probably a better way to describe it. But yes, it was close to a catch. It was a short ball, and Peter tried to pull that one away. This one's a better length delivery, forcing a defensive shot from Peter. She remains there on 9 off the 30 balls.
Yeah, I'm really liking what I'm seeing here from Litia Lala from Northern Blaze. She's bowling with really good pace, running in strong, and you can tell the Samoan batters are just struggling to score off her bowling.
I think it's not just that. I think also her action might make it hard for them to pick up the it's a very whippy action, and a combination of that and the pace. Yeah, but this has been a good over. Aside from that wide, not giving away any free and easy runs. Here she is, Lala. 2 balls left in the over, and this time she beats Peter outside the off stump.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area to be bowling, just on that 4th stump line, at angling in, then cutting out with a little bit of outswing as well. It's a beautiful spell of bowling, and with 1 ball until the drinks break, just take a little bit of positive momentum in for the Fijians.
She is again. This time Peter's playing that one up to mid-on. There's no run, and that is the end of quite a good over. So as we get to the drinks break, 10 overs gone. Samoa 74 for 1. Varane 47 and Peter 9. Oh, thank you very much, mate. I didn't speak to her yet, but it doesn't have to be today. Any time's fine. Welcome back. We've got another bowling change here. It's going to be Maui Tonga coming back for her second over, facing Farane. And Farane lifts this one in the air as their fielder coming in, drops it. So a crucial drop there from, who's that out there? That was Tokelau. Just didn't quite get settled underneath the catch. Would have been a big wicket for Fiji had she taken the catch, as Peter plays this one away. Out to fielder coming in from the square leg boundary. So one more to Peter. She moves to 10. Bring Farane back on strike.
Yeah, tough chance. Looking directly into the sun, but who knows, might get another opportunity here.
This one's skied up in the air as a chance for catch this time, and it's put down again, unfortunately. Oh, that's tough. I think that was Raika Talau under that one. And, what was it, Izameli? Might have been Izameli, in fact. Izameli again. Yeah, it's the second dropped chance in a row, so got a feel for Maui Tonga, Toby. 3 catches gone down off her bowling in this over.
Yeah, I mean, from a positive, she's created 3 opportunities in 4 balls. That's a very optimistic view. So yeah, that's got to be something that you take as a positive. They're really starting to just make it hard for Samoa to score, and chances are being created. Of course, they would like to take one of these chances that comes.
This time she's bowled her. Beautiful ball from Maui Tonga. Peter playing all around that one. Having a heave across the line. And the ball careered into the stumps. And, well, you'd have to say that was deserved for Maui Tonga after having 3 catches dropped off her bowling in 1 over. That one was just well pitched up. And, as they say, if you miss, I'll hit. And that's what happened.
She's not the first bowler there to, take it upon herself and say, leave it to me, I'll hit the stumps. And very well bowled by Maui Tonga, as we said. Created a lot of chances that over, and it was good reward for effort. Really well deserved to see her get her first wicket today.
Yeah, also it's probably worth mentioning, although she didn't score quickly by any sort of thought, 10 off 37 balls, Peter, she did actually stay there for 11 overs supporting Farane, and so yeah, she's done rather well. This is going to bring Manesi into strike, and it'll be Farane facing Lala. She's got none for 5 so far off her 2 overs. Here she comes, Lala, and Farane gets a ball that's around about the thigh pad. She meant to play across the line, and there's no run.
We're just noticing that extra pace of Lala, and making it challenging for the batters. It's been a good spell of bowling from her. Really, just a little bit faster than what the bowlers we've seen so far, and yeah, it's a good challenge for the Samoan batters.
Here is Farane, and she pulls that one away through the leg side. The fielder comes around from long on, cuts it off.
I think that's her 50.
Yes, she has. She's gone to 50.
Big milestone for Vera Farane there. Her first 50 in international cricket. And it was good to see the celebrations from the Samoan team as we look at them on screen. The first 50 for Samoa this tournament.
And she's batted really well. And just looks so dangerous every time she faces the ball. And this one's through the offside, played up to cover. They take off for a single. And they get through for a single. Takes Farane on to 54. And delighted to be joined here in the commentary box by the manager of the Samoan cricket side, who I believe is also the CEO of Samoa Cricket, so a lot of titles. It's Salah Stella Via. Nice to have you in the commentary box with us Do you go by Salah or do you go by Stella?
Either, whatever's easier for you. Salah is my Thai title, is my chief title, and Stella, yeah, I'm happy to go with Stella. And yeah, talo for Andy and talo for Toby. And big shout out to the Samoan family back home, to all our spectators tonight, because it's evening back home, and all the Samoans who are watching from our families and friends from all over the world. Talo for lava.
What time is it in up here at the moment?
It's after 20 after 7 in the evening, so I guess they're having their evening prayer. And
this one's clean bowled. Manisi played across the line, and Lala's spell, she's been very impressive. She gets a wicket there, and it's just a comforting hug there from Farane to her partner, who was just dismissed without scoring. Nice touch that.
Yeah, she's bowled well, hasn't she, Lala? Just that extra pace in her third over now, and good reward for effort for her bowling, getting a wicket, hitting the stumps. And much needed, a couple of wickets since that drinks break. We saw in the game earlier today, after the drinks break, wickets fell quite regularly, and it's really well deserved for Fiji. Looking at a big total to chase today, to just get a couple of wickets and start to build that confidence up.
I imagine there's probably quite a few people in Auckland and other parts of New Zealand watching this as well.
Yes, Andy, there's a big community, Samoan community in Auckland, and we have some of our players that we've selected from Auckland, and they're all from school cricket. So, they're very excited, and we're very excited to see the development of these girls, especially in the international level.
This next one from Lala to the new batter Lamoy is down the leg side, and it's signalled wide. Yeah, I noticed on the team sheet that Toby handed me yesterday, I just suddenly looked at all these names. I was like, oh wow, quite a lot of these players are playing in Auckland. I forget the names of all the clubs now, but just looking at again, just very familiar names like Cornwall and Auckland University and Waitakere and places like that. But I guess not surprising really, just given the way that there's a huge Samoan community in Auckland. But good to see that cricket's being played, everywhere, that the young Samoans are growing up these days.
Absolutely, Andy. We're happy to look at players who are of Samoan descent and who might not have the opportunity to play for New Zealand or Australia, but they're happy to put up their hand to play for their parents' country of birth. So here we are, and it's been a really good experience for the girls.
Yeah, and how are they enjoying being in Bali, Indonesia?
Oh, they love it. Especially it's winter back in Auckland, some of these girls. And in Samoa, we're not new to this kind of weather. It's very nice, and we're used to playing in these conditions. They're tough conditions, though.
Yeah, luckily we've had a little bit of breeze these last few days. This next one is played out into the covers and out towards the boundary, and over the boundary for 4. So lovely shot there from Lamoy. She's off the mark with a boundary, and Samoa now move on to 89 for 3.
Yeah, it's a lovely shot there from Oliva Lamoy. Now, Stella, the Samoan team did arrive into Indonesia a little bit early, or earlier than potentially they have in the past. Talk us through kind of the thoughts around arriving early into Indonesia, and it's obviously paid dividends with Samoa already picking up 2 wins from their first 2 matches. How's it been, Indonesia?
I think it's important for the preparation of the team, especially they've been. Oh, is that an out?
Oh, that should have been a run out. Is it a run out? Was it? Both ended up at the same end there. Mass confusion, but the question is, I think, has the wicketkeeper gathered the ball cleanly before breaking the stumps? Because there's absolutely no doubt the batter was well and truly out of her ground there. That was wasn't Ferrani, it was Lemoy. I don't think the stumps were broken cleanly. I think that's the simple answer. But anyway, please carry on with that story, Stella.
Yeah, I think it's important to for the team's preparation, both mentally and physically, as well as getting them to acclimatise. So I think it pays off with their first 2 wins, and so we're looking to. We know that Fiji is going to come out with guns out, and we're prepared for it. So yeah, so hopefully that today is another win for us.
I wasn't here on the first day. A friend of mine's daughter was getting married, and so I didn't make it to the first game. But the magnificent win over Papua New Guinea. How did that make you feel?
Oh, we've had 2 heart-stopping games between Indonesia and yesterday, and also BNG on the first day. But the girls, it was great to see their silent determination, and they managed to push through. And here we are, the 3rd day of the tournament, and we're determined to have another win.
Here's Maui Tonga again, bowling to Ferrani, and she plays that one up to mid-on. She's on to 59 now, off just 32 balls. So just 5 runs away from bringing up 100 here, Samoa, just with 2 balls left in this over. This one's worked away behind square by Ferrani, but it's well cut off down there. It got an awkward bounce and restrict the scoring to 1.
So Stella, obviously playing a lot of matches back to back, which I imagine would be a first for a lot of these girls to play 3 matches in 3 days and then day off tomorrow and another 3 matches in 3 days. What are you doing as team manager as well of the team to help them refresh and regroup for the next 3 days? Because it is a lot of cricket in a week. So, what do you do as team manager to keep them nice and fresh?
Well, no one is 100% fit on these tournaments, and it has taken a toll on their bodies and their minds as well from day one. And so we just keep on empowering them and advising them, and do whatever it takes, like make sure that they have enough water, enough rest, and they eat well, so that they're prepared for the next day. We can only do so much, but just making sure that they have all those things in place, and they manage to pull through.
I think just a good chill out by the pool's probably needed.
Yeah.
I suspect quite a few people will be just relaxing.
They've been doing a lot of recovery every day after the match at the pool.
There's a new over, and Ferrani whips that one away from Tokalau's first delivery, out to the boundary for 4, and
it's the 100 up for Samoa as well.
Yeah, 100 for 3. Still 6.5 overs to go, so could be a very imposing total by the end of this innings. Got a question for you in a minute, Stella, as Ferrani this time smashes that one out through extra cover and out to the boundary for 4. So she's racing along now. She moves up to 68. My question is, you've got a couple of sides here that are from the sort of the same region of the Pacific, give or take, for the likes of Tonga and Vanuatu and all that. And just looking at the strength of Samoa so far, they've won two fixtures out of 2, and looking very good here. What makes the Samoan side as strong as it is, do you think?
I guess we just do the basics well, just making sure that they're fit, or trying to make them fit, and just working on their skills, and get them to play some good cricket. So those are the 3 main things that we try hard to. So we try and send them to New Zealand to play, and this is why we get the other girls, because they were happy to come on board and play with our girls. So yeah, why not?
And can I just ask you, as we see Vera Ferrani on 68 as she whips another one away there, probably just for a single. If you can tell us a bit about Vera Farane. It says here on the list her home team is the Village. So, yeah, I'd love to get a bit of background on her if you're able to provide that for us and for everyone watching around the world.
Vera Farane, she's from one of the outback villages back home. So when, we pick her up and we give her an opportunity, and there she is. She's just smashing those balls away, and she has a big future with Samoa cricket.
Far away, but she seems so focused. That's the thing I've noticed about her, and when I I just like the way she really backs herself. As we come to the end of the 14th over, Farane's on 70 now. Lemoy was with her on 6. Samoa 107 for 3, but yeah, really, really impressive, and it's a lovely story as well to hear that.
So, if you can, Stella, provide a bit of background onto her journey into cricket. So, where she would have started playing, the work that Samoa Cricket are doing as part of your development programs, and how she ends up finding herself whacking balls around Udiana cricket ground here in Bali, Indonesia.
So Vera started her cricket with the primary school cricket. The under 12, which is grassroots, and the development officers that work for those particular regions picked her up from those early to come over, and we look after her, and we she's one of our we call it volunteers, but we actually pay her an allowance just like the other volunteers.
As this one's nicely pulled away into the leg side by Lemoy, and there's a misfield out there. Goes over the boundary. That was Lala out there. There's been a few misfields today. A few awkward bounces, though, it must be said.
And I might ask Stella if you can provide a bit of background information on Oliva Lemoa, who we talked about. She just turned 15 a week ago, so had her 15th birthday here in Indonesia. What can you tell us about her as the youngest player in the tournament?
Very confident player, and she started very young as well. We brought her in from school cricket. Started off with our Super Kids Super Hit program, which is one of our grassroots program back home, where every Saturday the parents drop off their kids, ranging from 5-year-olds to 16-year-olds, and so she started playing for our senior competitions at 12
Wow.
years old. Yeah, and
Wow.
so she's one of those young girls that's so she'll be happy to skip school and just come and play cricket.
That's a lovely boundary down the ground from Farane. Just picked that one up and lofted it over the infield, down past the side screen for 4.
She has no plans of slowing down here, Vera Farane, only dealing in boundaries. It's quite an impressive innings. We saw in the first game she got to, I think, 40 and then was unlucky to go out, but today it's just going on. And another big shot, one bounce for 4. An incredible inning so far, isn't it?
I'm surprised she hasn't actually hit any over into those bushes yet, because she hits it so hard. Normally a lot of balls get lost in those bushes here at Udiana Cricket Ground on the eastern side of the ground, but she's just hitting it so cleanly at the moment. Everything coming out of the middle of the bat. And I guess the other question for you, without trying to preempt too much, is what could you possibly say about the chance of potentially going to an under-19 World Cup?
Look, Andy, I don't want to look too far. We just take each day as it comes. But we didn't come all this way not to fight for our chance to be out there. So I know we came in as underdogs, but we're here, and I guess we're in the game.
Is it out? I think it's caught behind, is it? Is it an appeal? Just checking to see if it carried, and yes, she's gone. So finally a wicket for Fiji, and Farani's amazing innings of 79 comes to an end. 79 off 42 balls. It was just a good length ball from Ricoro. In fact, it was very wide. Would have been signalled wide. And it was just a question of whether they actually carried through. It was a nick. And it was through to the keeper, Meki. And it was just a bit of consultation between the umpires.
It's just great to see the delight on Jasville Rockerow's face there with coming into the attack and getting her first wicket of the day. Well done to her, and what a knock it was from Vera Farane. 79 off just the 43 balls, the highest individual score in the tournament so far, and she's gone a long way to setting up a victory for Samoa today with that innings.
She certainly has. And that brings Mapu to the crease. She'll be facing her first delivery from Ricoro, so 2 balls into her spell. Ricoro has picked up the crucial wicket of Farane. Magnificent innings it was. There's Ricoro, and this one has worked down into that short fine leg position. Very fine short fine leg, and there's no run.
And Avitia Mapu, the captain of the Samoan team, she's been also in strong batting form in that first game against PNG. Hit a few sixes, and made a very significant contribution to getting her team over the line. So she'll be looking to add a few more runs to her tally today. What can you tell us, Stella, about Avitia Mapu?
Oh, she's a strong batter and a strong bowler as well.
Whoa, she just showed with that shot.
Very good batters in this team and good bowlers as well. I think the team, they're all rounder. So I think that's why I'm very confident about our chances. Everyone is just as good as the other.
One, it's lofted, but this time there's a chance of a catch. And, she spilled it, unfortunately. It was high and it was hanging up in the air. She made good ground. It was very well positioned under it, and it was a very tough one.
And you just got to love that positive intent. With only 4 and a bit overs to play, they're looking to post a really big score today, and hope for Samoa's sake and Avitia Mapu, she'll be hoping most of the chance that she's been given. It's exciting, it's entertaining cricket. It always is between these two teams. And they'll be looking to post a big score. We saw PNG yesterday, I think, end up with 171. It'll be interesting to see if Samoa can, post above that score today. And if Avitia Mapu stays at the crease, I think they'll well exceed that score.
Here's a new over beginning from Tokelau, and this is played away out to the mid-wicket. The fielder comes in there and just restricts the scoring to 1. So Tokelau's been a little bit expensive, none for 26, but in the face of an onslaught, particularly from Farane, is Mapu with the open stance, faces up now to Tokelau, and she hits that one in the air, but on the bounce down to long on, and she goes through for a single to take her on to 8.
Yeah, Maui Tonga and Poulter there, the two fielders in the deep for Fiji, both look like they've got strong arms and in the dangerous position. I think that's always what they say, put the best fielders in the dangerous positions, as we see another good shot there from Oliva Lemoe, and it's just gone for 4, so scoring, moving along, still at a rapid rate for Samoa.
Andy, obviously you sound like you know a lot about cricket. Have you played cricket while you were in New Zealand?
Yeah, I still play occasionally now. but not to any real level in the past. I was like second 11 at Wellington College, and nothing really to write home about other than that. But I do love cricket, and my favourite cricketing experience was playing in England. It was just fantastic. As this is another chance here. Fielder coming in, she just can't quite get to it. So Mapu living dangerously here. But yeah, I've played a fair bit, and there's a side in Jakarta called the Barbarians, which is captained by a Kiwi guy, and there's another couple of Kiwi guys that play. So yeah, I go there once in a while. I'd like to play more often, I must say. Although I have found out recently, check this out, I'm eligible to play for Indonesia.
Oh, wow.
Because I've lived here for more than 3 years now. So there's another couple of runs there to Mapu, and it's the end of the 17th over now.
Yeah, well fielded there on the boundary by Litia Lala. Diving effort, saving a few runs for her team. Still great to see. She's been bowling well, Lala, and it looks like she's coming on to bowl again now. But good. Oh no, not quite. But great effort there on the boundary.
Now, is it? Yes, the captain.
Now, Stella, this is the first East Asia Pacific Pathway event of the year in 2024. There's still a few more to come, and I believe, well, it's factual that the next two Pathway events are to be hosted in Samoa. So the Under-19 Boys Division 2 qualifier, and then the Sub-Regional Pacific qualifier in August. So it's going to be a busy month for Samoa cricket. How are you shaping up, to both for your two teams in those events, and also for cricket in Samoa and what it will mean?
Well, I think it's fantastic for the sport in Samoa. Another big exposure and lots of opportunities working with partners, commercial partners, and working with the government. So yeah, there's a lot to prepare for, especially when we host.
This
we
one.
want
Oh, it's a
to give
chance,
only
and
the
it's
best.
taken.
That's,
Sorry there, Stella. Just Mapu skying that one to extra cover, and it was well held out there. So Mapu's brief cameo comes to an end, 12 off 6. Sorry to interrupt you there, Stella.
Yeah, but the preparations are going well. The teams are already in training, and I think the coach will come down to be with the teams this month. Yeah, so yeah, I think we're on track.
That's great to hear. Good to imagine it'll be a pretty nice time to be in Samoa in August as well. Never been to Samoa actually. Been to Fiji once, but never to Samoa or Tonga or Vanuatu or any of the other islands in the Pacific.
I think you should come. You'll love it.
Yeah, I'd love to go and watch a game of rugby there. That's the thing I've always wanted to do. We were talking a bit about rugby yesterday, and yeah, I've always wanted to go to Apia Park. Maybe I'll get there one day.
Yeah, do it early, sooner than later.
Tell us a bit about Samoa and why people should visit Samoa. I mean, for cricket or what else there is to do in Samoa. I know it's a lovely place, but for those around the world that may not be extremely familiar with Samoa, what is it that makes Samoa so special?
Oh, it's the experience. Our people, we're known for our hospitality, and it's just the experience. You'll have a very unique experience, and it's quite a long way to go to travel, but it's worthwhile. It's worth the investment coming over and see our people, and we're the preferred destination for visitors and those who want to come for a holiday.
Oh, there may have been a chance there. I'm just not quite sure. There's a bit of excitement from Wanganisau, and Salima it is that's on strike. May have found an edge. Certainly some excitement, but Wasn't taken by Mickey behind the stumps. Here's Wanganisau again. And Salima this time just playing it behind square. They'll get through for a single. It's good play by Salima. It means that Lamoy will be on strike. She's on 20 off 13.
Yeah, it's been a great spell of bowling there from the Fijian captain, Mele Wanganisau. Just the 12 off her 4 overs. Got the wicket as well. She'll be very happy with her efforts today. Very tidy bowling, and yeah, take that confidence into probably the second half of the tournament with that bowling performance today from the captain.
So just the 2 overs in the innings left now. Samoa 144 for 5. Salima has retained the strike, so it's going to be Isameli. This is the last over of her spell. 1 for 21 so far. 1 for 21, I should say. And it's wide outside the off stump. And takes the score on to 145 for 5.
So, Stella, I noticed there's a few coaches in the Samoan tent today and throughout the tournament. Can you give us a bit of background on, who's come over with the Samoan team as part of the coaching group, and just a bit of background of their involvement with Samoa cricket?
Well, I think we're the only team who have a full female squad of coaches, and we take pride in that too. I think we talk about women's cricket, but we think that we should be seen to be doing it, and we have to get the right people to do the job. So we're very happy to have there's Shelley from Papatoetoe, and she's also been allocated by ICC to help us with the coaching. She's a great asset, helping out with our wicket keepers and advising our coaches. We have Helen Toaloa Samau, as well as Peralini Multalo. So they're all experienced coaches. So it's been fantastic for them as well to learn from Shelley, and very grateful for the opportunity with ICC with 100% female leaders in coaching. So yeah, we'll just keep on building and keep on learning as we go along. But we have some really good coaches who can connect with the girls, and that's important for us. Especially this is an under-19 team, and we feel that having full female squad is more important, and it's important for the girls.
Well, it seems to be working at the moment, undefeated. What can you tell us about the head coach, Helen Samau? So, if you can provide a bit of background into her journey.
Helen Samau plays for Samoa Cricket in the senior women's team, and she's been very helpful and also been our connection to the Samoan community in Auckland, having to help us with some of those players who wanted to come and play. So we wanted to make sure that those girls are also trained and they turn up to cricket every Saturday in Auckland, because we don't know what's happening there. So Helen has been a great help, and she's also been doing the New Zealand Level 1 coaching. So great asset to the team.
So there's Amelie continuing her over. Quite tidy, a couple of wides, but just 3 singles we've had off the over now. Yes, the 3 singles. So just the 1 ball left in her spell. 1 for 26. The score 149 for 5. Brings Lamoy on to strike. She's played a good knock actually. 21 off just the 14 balls. See what she can do here. She swings as high in the air. There's a fielder getting under it, and she takes the catch. So it's well held. That's the end of Lamoy's innings. Good reward for Isameli, and she finishes her spell with 2 for 26. And at the end of the 19th over, so we just see a replay of that again. It was hoisted high in the air, but it was taken nicely at mid-wicket. That was Tokelau under that, and very well taken. So 194, 49 for 5, and just the 1 over left after this final ball of the over. So that is the over. 19 overs gone now.
Yeah, so Stella, you've talked a little bit about how your players, are all over Samoa, New Zealand, and that partnership with Papatoe and New Zealand cricket. I noticed, I was there earlier in the year, the Samoan women's team were playing in the Pacific Cup in Auckland in January. Talk us through and that strength of the partnership that you have, I suppose.
Yeah, we're very happy to have this relationship with New Zealand cricket through the Papatoetoe Women's Premier Club. It's been a great help for us as well, especially our players an opportunity for some good cricket and good coaching and conditioning. So it's really paid off. When we were before COVID, we were 16th in the T20I in the world ranking. So we want to go back there, and it's not gonna happen. That's the target. We want to get back to where we were, or even better.
It's this last over of the innings. It's Lala into the attack. Very accurate once again. In fact, she's bowled well, Lala. Just conceded 18 runs alongside the 1 wicket. That wicket of Farani. So just 4 balls left in the innings now. Samoa posting a good score here of 150 so far.
Yeah, you talk about that ranking for the Samoan women's team. Got as high as 16 there, and post-COVID has dropped away a little bit, but we've seen in the East Asia Pacific region, I think Papua New Guinea are currently ranked 11th in the world in the women's game. Indonesia 19 or 20, Vanuatu currently around 30, and defeated Zimbabwe just the other week. Talk to us a little bit about the competition in the region and your aspirations for Samoa to probably be one of the top teams in the region, and the goals to maybe qualify for a women's T20 World Cup, not just at the under-19 level.
Look, Toby, women's cricket in the region is developing so fast, and I've seen a lot of changes in other teams like Vanuatu, BNG as well, now with Fiji, and I'm very happy to see the growth of women's cricket and how they progress. With Vanuatu being in the qualifiers and playing against those full members, and we aspire to be in that position sometime very soon.
Well, Stella, thank you very much for coming to have a chat to us. So we just got 1 ball left in the innings now. I have to ask you the question. Will 150 plus whatever they get off this next ball, is it a winning score today, do you think?
Andy, that was the target. That was the target.
It was?
Well, 150.
Yeah.
So that was the target the coach gave the girls.
Ah.
Yeah, 150. We need no less. So I think they've done really well.
Yeah.
They should be proud of themselves. So they just have to finish it off.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. And so yes, after the 20 overs of the Samoan innings, they finished on that score that Stella mentioned of over 150. So it's a great effort. 155 it was actually in the end, with a 4 off the last ball. And so when we come back in around 10 minutes time, Fiji, batting second, will need 156 to win. All right, so here we go. It's the start of the Fiji innings. It's going to be Lemoy opening the bowling for the Samoan side. Just 15 years of age. Very impressive player. And it's going to be Hazelman on strike. Opening with her is Rokoro. Here is Lemoy. And that one's outside off stump. Through to the keeper. No run off the first ball there. So Fiji chasing a pretty mammoth total here. 155. For 6 was the Samoan score. And it's a good ball. So'otanga. Just couldn't get down to that one. I'd like to see the replay. Pretty sure I heard an edge there. Unfortunately, we're not going to get a replay because here's Lemoy coming into bowl again. And that's just defended by Rokoro. Just move the commentary table out of the bright sunshine that was creeping its way in. Warm day as always in Indonesia. As Lemoy comes in again. And it's just defended into the leg side by Rokoro. It's a good start by Lemoy, very accurate. Here she is again. Good length delivery. This is on the line of leg stump. It comes off the pad. They get through for a leg bye. Excellent bit of fielding there. It was Tafia. There's the fielding there. Short fine leg. So here's Lemoy, last ball of the first over. It's a full toss this time and just defended by Hazelman. It's a good tidy start by Lemoy, just 2 runs off the first over. And Fiji chasing 155 or 156 to win. The 2 without loss. It's going to be Mapu to bowl the second over. Here she comes from the Udiana, or the southern end of Udiana cricket ground. That's cut away by Rokoro. Didn't time it as well as she might have liked. And in fact, they're only going to get a single. So it was in the gap between point and backward point. But just a single to Rokoro. So she goes on to 2. Brings Hazelman on to strike. Here's Mapu at the top of her mark. Just a hesitation there. Just lost her rhythm. Here she comes this time though. It's a wide down the leg side. Signalled wide. So Samoa, of course, looking for their third consecutive victory of this tournament. This one's played nicely into the covers by Hazelman. There's no run there. This is again down the leg side from Mapu. It's a wide. Here's Mapu again, right arm over the wicket, and this time and Hazelman tries to cut that one into the offside. Doesn't make contact. There's Mapu again. Once again, it's wide down the leg side. Taken by So'otanga. Excuse me, terrible cough today. Very dusty in Bali at the moment when you're out driving on the roads, the motorbike. This next one beats Hazelman outside her off stump. So just the one single and the three wides off this over. Another wide. Here's Mapu again. This time Hazelman's just defending it back to Mapu and her follow through, so that's the end of the second over. In fact, sorry, there's still one ball to come. So here's Mapu again. This one's just played defensively. And, yeah, picked up there by Mapu on a follow through. That's the end of the second over. Fiji, 7 without loss. So a cautious start. Of course, it's a very big target they're chasing. 156 needed to win. Required run rate of 8.28. And this one's just chopped into the ground by Rokoro. On the bounce to So'otanga behind the stumps. This one, once again, a good length and a good line. Defended back to Lemoy on her follow through. It's a fairly short run up, Lemoy. Comes in again. Nice accurate delivery, forcing the defensive shot from Rokoro. 3 balls, no runs so far in this over. And this one's played up to mid-on. She timed it quite well, Rokoro. No thought of a single there. So excellent bowling by Lemoy. Here she comes again. That's a lovely ball, and it beats the outside edge of Rokoro's bat. Not fielded cleanly by the wicketkeeper So'otaga. Picked up by Baresi there, and there's no run, no bye, and this time it's down the leg side and called wide. So Lemoy, it would have been a maiden if she hadn't bowled a wide that ball, and here she is again. And it's a great delivery on the line of the stumps. It's an appeal for LBW, but not given there. So at the end of 3 overs, Fiji are 8 without loss, and it looks like we're going to get a few big hitters into the commentary position. Yeah, it's going to be Sanjeev, who's the coach of the Fijian side. It's going to be joining us for a while as Mapu begins a new over. And Hazelman struck on the pad. There's a shout for LBW, but it's not given. Yeah, good afternoon, Sanjeev.
Good afternoon, Andy.
Nice to have you along.
Thank you, thank you.
You've brought the nice breeze with you.
Yes, absolutely.
And
it will help the players for sure, who have been there for a while now.
Yeah, definitely. And this one's played away nicely behind point by Hazelman. It's running out towards the boundary and over the boundary for 4. So nice strike there. It was a played behind point. Just timed it beautifully. And so yes, it's first boundary of the innings so far. So yeah, thanks very much for joining us. And how have the players found the experience so far? I mean, obviously it's been a bit tough results wise, but just the experience of being out here in Bali. Oh, and she's bowled. Great to. And Hazelman, after 4 off the previous ball, has been clean bowled for 5. So Fiji lose their first wicket, 12 for 1.
I think I would say they have just started their schooling, and they must be just feeling the way. Even you're talking about World Cup, it's just like young kids migrating from primary school to high school, year 7. They are 12-year-old, 13-year-old, and at times it can be very overwhelming for them. But we need to give them that time. We go through that transition. If we look at all these teams playing here, if we go back in the years, they would have also felt the same. Even if we look at ourselves, whatever we do, it's a learning curve. You start somewhere, but the start is at times harder. And in the process, they will gain a lot of self-worth, self-confidence, experience. And I would say hats off to Cricket Fiji, hats off to ICC to bringing them on board and giving them this amazing experience.
Delivery gets a good length ball from Mapu, and she came forward, but the ball beat the outside edge of her bat, and just beat the outside edge of her bat from the naked eye. In fact, it was the inside, beat her on the inside of.
I think if we talk about this cricket, it's not just a game of cricket, and as we see the parental body ICC nicely writes its Future Leaders program, so it's all anyone who is playing cricket is part of this family, and it's not always about the big boys who are doing exceptionally well. It's taking the family along, whether people like it or not. This is the start, and over a period of time these girls will evolve as well, and they will create a lot of interest not only in Fiji but all across the world. That's the way PNG, the way Indonesia, the way Samoa has done. I think in time these girls will also graduate to that level.
Here's the next ball, and it's defended. Well, in fact, it's driven in through the covers. Probably going to pick up 2 here. Wangani Sao is the new batter, and she's off the mark with 2. Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, this is my first time watching cricket at this level, be it men or women. I mean, I've watched club cricket here in Indonesia and obviously in other countries, but at an international level, at under 19, at the under 19 age group, as Wangani Sao just defends this one.
This question is often raised and asked. There's not enough media or attention towards female cricket. But if we go back in the years, there was not enough media or attention even for men's cricket. It was played in vacant stadiums and so on. But over the period of time, and ICC, as I refer back to ICC, them being the parent body, they are doing a great job here, bringing these girls and giving them this exposure.
It's going to be Lamoy to begin the 5th over of the innings. She's got none for 3 so far off her 2 overs. This one's down the leg side and it's a wide. But yeah, what I meant to say was, it's fairly evident from this is the second day that I've watched. I missed the first day, but you can see that they're very much starting out. It's kind of obvious just from watching. But what I wanted to ask you is, as they get through for a single there, is what's your approach to coaching? Players that are just starting out. That perhaps didn't start naturally when they're 4 or 5, like I did, for example.
The way I would like to put this together is a simple way. I often give this logic to a lot of parents when I do coaching. The girls they are playing against, they are in maybe year 6 or year 7, and the girls, our Fijian girls, have just started school, and you're expecting year 1 or year 2 girls to do the maths of year 6, year 7.
It's a good analogy.
So we need to give them that time, and being into the system of coaching over the years, you need to give them time, and you need to believe in them. And as a coach also, you need to have set processes, and it's not only about cricket. If we go through any sport, there are core skills, and within that core skills,
it's an appeal for LBW there from Lamoy, but not
there
given.
Are finer details, and to fix those. This is whatever they are doing now. It has been just a week's work where people say basic, but I say core, where if you look the way she's standing, that tells that she knows how to take the stance. That itself is a big success for me, to make them stand properly.
Yeah, you sort of take all these things for granted, don't you? When you've grown up from a very young age, and you've probably learnt it from your friends and just from watching TV.
Look at that cut shot. It was played nicely.
Yeah.
And someone who has been taught cut for a week, and if they can execute that shot, it means something. They are getting it. And as I said, it's a time-consuming thing, but we need to just work on it, and things will fall in place. Before we learn how to run, we learn how to walk first, and if we can walk, slowly we will put our running shoes together as well.
Yeah, and then there's, the other thing I noticed today particularly was the fielding, and that in itself is a skill, right?
Yes,
just knowing,
absolutely.
like I saw at least 2 or 3 occasions where the ball went out towards a fielder and it spun the other way, and they run the other way. And you can't just know that, right? You have to have done it a few times.
Yes. Fielding is something which takes longer to get it. One thing I have really liked about these Fijian girls, that they were able to anticipate many of those catches. Of course, they dropped it, which is a good thing. Judging the ball in air is a very difficult thing, where you have to track the ball in air. So I'm quite happy with what they did. Dropping the catch, yes. Yeah. There was some positives. I would say there was a lot of positives for me as a coach. But yeah.
But even things like catching it, you look at international side, highest level. I mean, these are skills they practice every day, right? Every single day they're practicing their catching. So it's just it's routine and.
Yeah.
But then in a game situation, if you've dropped one, then your confidence drops. You just, you can have a bad day. It happens to all of us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What I've really liked about the Fijian team is the positivity and the enthusiasm and excitement. We spoke about it when they were in the field in the first innings, and heads never dropped. There was a lot of noise and energy, and it looked like celebrating the small wins. Is that something that you've been focusing on as a coach and being made? Is that something you're focusing on, like keeping that energy and enthusiasm high?
Definitely, Toby. Those things help us in a longer run. We are here to learn through the experiences and exposure. As you said, I love the way the Fijians engage in general, their general attitude, or you can say behavior. It's quite positive. Even when I went with the under-19 boys, we were just like, we were not into the mix of winning any games, and we ended up winning 4. And that kind of a character they are, or people they are, and they are amazing listeners. They are amazing learners. If I say they are amazing listeners, that translates into their learning attitude or aptitude, you can say as well. So to be able to learn, you have to listen, and they are great at both.
A tidy over here from Mapu, just the one wide that turned into a 3. So, yep, Fiji. I mean, what I'm hearing here is the fact that it's small steps in progress, and just the fact that they're into the 6th over now. Well, that's the end of the 6th over, and just the 2 wickets down is actually a pretty good start, right? Obviously, they're chasing a big total here, but it's a good start.
Yeah, and it must be a pleasure to coach people that want to learn, want to get better. As you mentioned, they're like sponges at the moment, trying to pick up every little bit, and as you mentioned, just the experience alone is a lot of learning. What is it like coaching this Fijian group, and I probably will extend that to the boys as well, just that desire to want to learn and want to get better. As we see a cracking shot there from
Wangani Sao.
Yeah, the captain. That was a great shot. But yeah, talk me through that experience.
Yes, Toby, it has been an overwhelming experience for me. The way it's in their culture. It has been an enriching experience for me to understand just the culture of the people of Fiji. Everything they are. When I went to Fiji, there are 3 things which really they are obsessed about. One is connecting with God. The other one is playing. Of course, cricket is not the most popular sport, but I would say playing sports, football, rugby in general, and enjoying their food. So when I was in Darwin, I could see all these 3, and you might have witnessed as well.
Oh, and it's a 4 more to Wangani Sao. A misfield out on the boundary by Varane, and 4 more to Wangani.
And I think they pride whatever they do. They give their 200%. So anything they do is really very humbling for me to see or to work with them. It's just an amazing thing for me. Amazing experience, I would say.
Can I ask you how you found your way into coaching the Fiji?
I think I was reached out somehow, somewhere they connected with me, and they asked me if I'll be interested. And being into this system of cricket coaching for almost 20, 25 years, starting as a school cricket coach, moving into the New South Wales Premier Cricket League, working with multiple clubs. So it was always a desire or ambition for me to be a coach of a national team. Big or small doesn't really matter. You need to get started somewhere. And I was able to put my hand up. And here I am again with them. And I guess they have the trust in me as well, that I do things with a lot of honesty, a lot of care, a lot of love, and a lot of commitment, I would say. That is my way or philosophy of being a coach. Doesn't matter how good, how bad they are. I'll give the best I could. That's my always approach. It's not always about winning. I have set a tone for them. I have given them some routine. I have given them some structure. And I see the results are coming. We are in the third game, and I'm quite happy the way they have batted. This itself says that we are learning after each and every game. We are finding out new things, new players, new combination of batsmen and bowlers, and it's all good. Moreover, I would like to stress one thing. We have to be aware that if we are playing Samoa, we are playing Samoa International. We have got 7 girls from New Zealand. Samoa has got 7 girls from New Zealand and 7 from, of course, they are all Samoan. But when it comes to Fiji, they are all local girls. And that is something which Fiji can also look into to bring that into their system, which will help their local cricket as well. And I guess they are also realizing it is high time to look beyond the source. And
it's a very interesting point. I've watched a few tournaments here recently, and one thing about Indonesia, for the most part, in certain events it changes, but generally you only have Indonesians who are born in Indonesia playing for Indonesia. But I've watched some other sides like the Philippines, for example, and Thailand, and this is in men's I'm talking about now, where they do have players that are based in other countries that have had a completely different experience. But I imagine if you can bring those sorts of players in, the other girls or the other boys will be able to learn from them as well, because they'll just have so much more experience. As we see a bowling change now, it's Varane coming in from the Uluwatu end, the southern end of Udiana Cricket Ground. As the wind whistles away again.
I'll jump in here. It just comes back to also just having a strong domestic system as well. And you can attract those players. So, I mean, we've seen teams like Australia and South Africa, England, attracting players from overseas to then move to that country and play. I mean, for Samoa, we talked about Vera Farane growing up in the villages of Samoa and probably her domestic system. But then also, if there are players based overseas, being open to that, and that might help your domestic players become better as well. And it is interesting to see players from all over, to represent your country, your heritage. That is a really significant moment for those players as well. And I think it comes back to having that strong domestic system in the first place, because you can always top up with a few players that maybe play their cricket elsewhere, but still within your own environment, I suppose, and getting access to those players.
And she's chopped on here. So Varane, in her first over, Rakora, who's been there since the start, she's chopped the ball on to her stumps, and she's on her way back for 4. I'm really fascinated about that on the coaching side. So, if you look at the raw numbers there, she's made 4 off 27, and it's not to do with how she's been dismissed, for example. I mean, everyone chops the ball onto their stumps every once in a while. But I'm curious to know, do you look at data at all, or is it just not really that relevant for you at this level?
No, not at all. No, not at all. This is not a. So when we talk about sports coaching or skill acquisition, we go through different stages, or basically it says you go through 3 different stages. They say you introduce things, then you go to intermediate stage where you start tweaking things, but then you start tweaking a lot. At this stage, I did start, even though I was kind of rushed into that intermediate stage where I started to tweak things, but I couldn't tweak overly. So things which I felt out of her batting, which got easily tweaked here, which she demonstrated, was her setup, her stance. Even if I teach stance, depend who I'm teaching, I break it down into 9 checkpoints or 8 checkpoints, 3 below my hip, 3 in my hand, like in my hand where there are 3 joints, over my shoulders. That's another checkpoint, how my chin has to be. And then the face of the bat. So she was able to do those things, but okay, dropped.
Oh.
Dropped.
Was it a drop? There was a
Alright,
caught and bowl chance there.
So with this girl, there was a lot of, if you see, she's playing very differently. So when I went there to work with her, I didn't change her natural way of hitting the ball. So I only did was, okay, we will clear our front foot and we will hit. So we will keep playing that slog hits. So if you see this one, this shot she played, so I was we tried, when you get the width, the type of shots you hit, if you get the ball in line with your body, the type of shots you can hit, and she's capable of doing that. So with the other girl also we tried, but there were a lot of missing links.
Right. And another thing I'm interested to know is what sort of conversations do you have with the players after matches, before matches? Do you sit down as a team? Like how does that sort of work?
I think we do a lot of those things. We have got a very regimented schedule before the game, so the girls will wake up around 5:30 in the morning. We will go through some relaxation technique. A lot of high performance teams nowadays, they believe in meditation, in yoga, just controlling their mind, just working through the skills of settling them, calming them down. So that's the first thing we do early in the morning. But when coming back to what we do after the game, the basic approach is just to look at the highlights, the positives out of the game. And
and Ismaili, it's another wicket down for Fiji. Tafia with a good length delivery there, taking out middle stump, not taking it out, but knocking it back, and Tafia gets her first wicket, 1 for 1.
Yeah, just to jump in here, Sanjeev. So, I mean, you mentioned earlier that it's a lot for them to take in, at their level of development at the moment. How do you as a coach keep it as simple as possible, just to focus on a couple of things and try and do them really well? Because evidently there's lots of things, but your job as a coach is to try and keep that as absolutely simple as possible so the players can go out and play. So what are those things that you do to just, if there's 1 or 2 things to focus on it and keeping it as simple as possible?
Feel, Toby, you answered the question. You said 2 or 3, and I think that's what we do. We don't go into, we don't dive into deep things. So we just keep it simple. 2 or 3 things even when we are coaching. But when it comes to the game, I don't bother them. I just don't get into their head saying that this is what you have to do. Just let them play the game now. I just let them relax. I haven't said much. Only thing I'll say to them is what they are capable of doing, rather than correcting and bringing, okay, this is what you have to do. No. I know. She will do, when she's inside, she will do what she knows. And this is not only for me, but this is for a lot of subcontinent parents as well. A lot of coaching happens from outside, which is not the best thing to happen, because the kid is already stressed over there in the middle. There is a bowler who is bowling. She has to score runs. There is so much of pressure or demand on the player itself, and then the demand and the pressure starts to come from coach or parent. No good.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's good. It's a good way to try and simplify the game, Now, Sanjeev, I know you were over in Fiji before, as preparation for this tournament, based in Suva there. Talk to me a little bit about your experiences in Suva and how you found, the preparation leading up to this tournament.
I would say it was a great initiative. It was a great. It was a great thing by Cricket Fiji to get me over to Suva and be able to work and help the girls. I would have loved to have some more time if we had, of course, being a school teacher, full-time school teacher, it's a little bit hard for me with it's a bit too much. But I love doing what I'm doing. That's why I'm here. And I would say it was a great exposure for me. It was great experience for me. And I think in coming months, in time to come, we will collaborate heavily with Cricket Fiji, or I personally will collaborate heavily with Cricket Fiji to help them in this journey.
No, that's great. And Miliana Wati, just getting told that she has to put a helmet on because it looks like Farane is considered a medium pace bowler and not a spinner. I've loved watching Miliana Wati play in the first few games. Her entertainment factor, I suppose. What can you tell us about her and the way she goes about her cricket?
Miliana is one of the girls who catches 2 boats and a bus and takes almost 2 hours. He comes from some furthest villages and sees a character, isn't it? And sees the fun to watch. I don't think anyone can coach her, and I give her that license. Go and have fun. Go and do whatever No corrections there. A little bit of a correction here and there, but when Miliana goes in, I haven't taught any of those shots. Just she manufactures and entertains everyone.
And that is what coaching is about as well, isn't it? Knowing when to intervene and when to, intervene a little bit less and just give someone like Miliana the license to play with freedom. And I mean, it looks like she's struggling a little bit with that helmet there at the moment, but
I don't think she was that keen to wear it in the first place.
It looks like a second helmet's coming out for Miliana. But I've absolutely loved watching her play, and you can tell that as she plays more cricket and gets more confidence, she could be a force in the Fijian team in the future.
To me, she's a Glenn Maxwell of our team. She's what do they call her? Call him Showman?
Big Show.
Big Show. So she is the kind.
Nickname.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
She is the kind of a big show for us, and we all love her and we all support her. And she's a lovely, fun and carefree girl. Who doesn't care, and the way she has got out in 2 innings, that itself was a funny thing, and again we couldn't believe she has done this.
Can I want to ask you a slightly technical question here, without being too specific about who I'm talking about. Bowling actions and teaching the basics of bowling actions. How do you, because I get the impression you don't spend a huge amount of time with the girls. Like, how would they learn the basics of a bowling action? They don't have Richard Hadley or Capel Dev or someone to learn off from watching them on TV.
There's a girl, Moria. She told me that she has been learning a lot watching YouTube. And there is an Indian pace bowler, Julan Goswami.
Oh yeah.
And I was amazed. Oh, you learned of Julan Goswami. Okay. So, of course, the modern world gives them a lot of access. And when you rightly said, how will you teach? Well, when we look at sportsmen, they are more of a visual learner. So we have got different type of learners, and visual learners will see things and they will start to grab things. But when it comes to correction and when it comes to bowling, as you said, just let them bowl. Just give them that volume. It's just like, when you go to...
It's like Malinga, right? If anyone tried to change his action, there's no point.
No. You can tweak things here and there. You can make them aware of what can happen. And when we teach bowling at a higher level or at a bit of a serious level, if a kid is able to run well, most of the bowlings are taught when they are about 18, 19. I won't say nothing is taught at all.
Yeah.
We do a lot of serious correction if the back is, if we see that there could be a back injury and so on, running fast, dropping his head, we do intervene and we tell them. And as a coach, you need to be educated enough. It's not about just you are 5'5", you just keep bowling pace. No, it's not going to help. There will be when we are talking about pace bowling, there are physical parameters as well, or characteristics which will help you to become a fast bowler or become a spinner. So unless until you are aware about those nitty gritty of advising, you will, because you don't have that knowledge, you don't have that information. But if I see a 5'5" boy, I'll say, and of course, being a physical education teacher, having that background of education, I would look at his parents and I'll say, what about, giving him that thought, what about bowling spin? And currently I have got about 3 or 4 guys from my academy. They are representing New South Wales. When they came, they were 8.5. Now they are 17 and highest wicket taker in Australia in the under 17 age group. So I would have allowed them to bowl pace. So what happens with kids who are short in height? Since their center of gravity is low, they will tend to skid through. They will bowl fast, and
It's pretty short for a quick bowler.
see, when we
it's
talk
very
about
rare.
when we talk about those shorter guy, they are super athletes.
Yeah.
They are like a horse. When they run, you will love their running. Athleticism as well to do all those things.
This one's crashed down towards the, all the way up toward the sight screen. That was a great shot by the skipper there. She's fine form. Wanganisau.
Batting extremely well. It's been a really impressive knock there from Melee Wanganisau. Now, Sanjeev, talk to me a bit about what you've gone through as a learning as a coach. You mentioned you're quite new to the cricket Fiji setup, and it's. I imagine your experience as a coach is, we talked a bit about the players and what they're learning as players, but for you as a coach and coming into this environment, and I'm sure it challenges you to think differently about the way you coach. I'd love to get a little bit of reflection, I suppose, on how you found it coming into this environment and what you've learned on your journey so far.
Thank you, Toby. That's a thing to the keeper.
I don't need to give a description after that.
A lot of learning for me, and I'm lucky, I'm very fortunate. I start my day 6:30 in the morning, and I finish my day around 9:30 in Sydney. And throughout the day, I'm working with young people from kindergarten to the age of 30. And the style of coaching changes. There are times when I'm heavily involved, doing a lot of correction. There are times I let the kid, grow. And with them, it was a mixture. It was mixture because they were demanding. There was a demand. I could see if I don't intervene, if I don't act, they're not going to get anything. So I had to work. When I say I had to work, there were times I had to give a lot of information. I had to share a lot of things to them, a lot of corrections, those type of things. It was different. It was different than being in Premier Cricket League, where you sit and relax. You don't say too much. The players know what they are doing, as compared to players don't know what they are doing. You need to work. You need to do.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, we talked a little bit about it earlier, keeping the message nice and simple, staying positive, and you do, particularly working with female cricketers, it is different again as well, and young female cricketers, how you stay positive, and I suppose your approach has to change as well to be able to match that environment that you now find yourself in, doesn't it?
Yeah, see, being into the system, I can't be too demanding from these girls. I need to understand their level of cricket, their level of understanding, and give them that time. We all have to give them this time. We can't be too critical about them. As you said, we have to be very supportive and encouraging and give them that couple of years. Everyone, where they have started, I would say about 5 or 6 years ago, Indonesia, Samoa, PNG, they all would have started the same way. And now they come and they look like capable and doing things differently, dominating sessions. And I'm sure the time will come for them as well. We just, you will see.
How do you run a training session? That's also something I'm interested in. I mean, is it like for example, I've watched a lot of the Indonesian girls, local club sides and stuff. They come here. The first thing they do is they go over to that soccer goal over there, and they just play volleyball for like half an hour. Like, I'm just. It's another wicket gone, and it's Wangani Sao.
Yeah, lovely ball there from Farane. Just the Yorker taking out the leg stump and brings the end to the innings of the Fijian captain. A really impressive knock there of 19, but a lovely delivery as we watch the replay here from Farane. Just that Yorker on leg stump, and
it's beautifully flighted, wasn't it? But yeah, I'm really curious, like how, I just think when I was a kid it was just nets and fielding practice. But like, how do you run your sessions?
Yeah. That's something which is quite common these days. When you get the players together, you need to ease them off. So we play some funny game. We play a catching game where we try to put the ball through their legs, and we giggle, we laugh. At other places, they will share a joke where people will share some different places. There are different approaches, but we have got a very good game where we bring 1, 2, 3, 4 multiple balls starts to getting thrown through the legs. The moment we get the ball through someone's leg, we have a good laugh, a good crack, and it's good fun. Yeah, that's the way most I would say professional teams will always start like that.
Right.
Volleyball could be one. Yeah.
They never play football. They're just always playing volleyball over that football goal. So Fiji now 51 for 6. So just looking at how this game's going, bearing in mind, like particularly yesterday, the collapse. I can't forget which over they finished up in, but when you look at the score, okay, I mean, because it is a point obvious. How do you feel about that when you just see, okay, well, we're 51 for 6, we're up against a really good side. What do you feel when you look at that?
It feels good. It feels good. There were a few things when we were in Fiji, in Suva. We said, I want a game where you can get around 70 or 80. Because when we played our first internal game, they got bowled out for about 15 or 18 runs. And I said, we need to do something about this. And then every day in our training, we had a game session. And most days, we played about 18, 20 overs. We said, let's play a full game. Every day we played games after games.
Right, okay.
And that's the way we were able to figure out our batting lineup, bowling lineup. And then still, I would say we are still figuring out.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting to hear.
Yeah, and I'm sure
it's quite a simple goal too. That's what I like about it. Let's try and get a score of about this. Sort of takes the expectation or pressure off. It's just say, wouldn't it be nice to get a 70 or an 80? Bit like batting yourself, really, isn't it?
And I'm sure viewers around the world would be impressed with Fiji's back. I think this is a record score for Fiji so far after the first 2 games. So, you're seeing that improvement, game on game in different areas. We talked about today. This is the most wickets Fiji have taken in an innings. It's going to be the highest score that Fiji have taken in an innings. So, you must be thrilled to be seeing that improvement. As the tournament,
few days now, and you could see they know what lies where. So when we get young kids in our school, it is about 3 to 4 days of orientation. This building is over here, that building is over there, and they have also progressed into this. And I could see, you could see as well, they are doing fine, isn't it? They have improved.
Yeah, definitely, and it's just time and confidence. It's like, another good comparison is golf, right? When you first start playing golf, you're you've got to shoot off to now.
Yeah, thanks for having me here
pleasure.
and talking about Cricket Fiji. That's a topic of interest for me, and I would say that's a topic of interest for everyone back in Fiji or anyone who is following this game, how Fiji is doing. Thank you for having me here.
Good luck, and
Thank you.
thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, and there's another wicket just as Sanjeev leaves the microphone. It's Poulter. She's holed out to mid-wicket there. Just skying that one up in the air. And so Fiji, 54 for 7. So whilst, just look at the replay here. It's a full toss. And she looked to hoist that one away into the leg side, but it was quite easily taken in the end there by Paula Taivao. Good catch. And so into the tail now, but as Sanjeev, the Fiji coach, just said, they're only just working out their batting order now, working it out as they go really. And so when I say the tail, it might not necessarily be the tail. As Lala, it is the new batter. And she looks to sweep that one. Struck on the pad. And there's no run there. So Tafia, 3 for 7. Very good figures. And that's well picked up by Lala. Out to the boundary for 4. It was just fractionally short, but she was onto it very quickly. Whipped it away off her pads behind square and out to the boundary for 4. Lovely timing. Yeah, just picked the length. It was the outside leg stump. She picked the length, pulled it away for 4. And this time she times it beautifully again, but there's a fielder out there, that's Lamaya. Lamaya, I should say. And they get through for a single. And this time it's a swing and a miss from Vuli. She's on 2 off 5. And this time I think she's just made contact with that through to the keeper. And that is the end of 13 overs. So, yes, so Fiji, 59 for 7. 7 overs remaining. Looks like Afi from Indonesian Cricket's going to come in and join me for a while. If he can figure out how to turn the microphone on.
How are you, Andy?
I'm doing fine, Afi. Thank you for a lovely lunch earlier today, as it's a lovely shot again from Lala. Hoists it over mid-wicket.
What do you think of the tournament so far? Obviously, you've seen all the teams here.
Really enjoyed it. I mean, this game's obviously not going to be so close, but yeah, really enjoyed it. And I think just from a commentary perspective, you know, that this is something I've never done before. I've never commentated on under-19 cricket, certainly not at women's under-19 cricket, and I really enjoyed it, Effie. And
that's good.
Yeah,
I see there are some people from Fiji and Samoa joining as well, so hopefully, you know, for yourself and for the audience here who understand more about the associate cricket, especially in the East Asia Pacific region.
Well, I mean, in that sense, you know, this is what the third time I've been on commentary. Oh, that was a very good throw there, but I think Lala. That was Vuli running to the non-striker's end. She got home, so she's on 3. Lala's on 4. Sorry, I was on 6. But yeah, this is the third time I've been on commentary for one of the events that you've been hosting, and yeah, it's fascinating. I'm learning a lot about cricket, in this part of the world, and just the standards, and yeah, it's very different, for example, to watching the Ashes or the Indian Premier League or whatever. Here at Udiana Cricket Ground, there's always people coming to practice and stuff. It's fantastic.
Yeah, obviously in Bali the cricket never stops. You always have hot weather here, so
The association in Indonesia, in the sense of like how many people work for it, for example, or how, within the sort of structure.
Yep, just to put into perspective, Indonesia have 37 provinces now. Out of that, cricket has been developed into 21 provinces. So we do have 21 branches in the provinces, and each provinces obviously have their own districts. Like for example, in Bali province, they have cricket in Denpasar, Badung, Gianyar, Kelungkung, Mengwi. So, and competitions between schools, universities. So a lot going on in just one province. So we do have a lot of going on in other provinces as well. So, but what we only have high performance center in Bali as this point. So that's why all the big tournaments is being hosted.
It's great for someone like myself to be able to see so much cricket. I've watched local tournaments now, international tournaments, senior men's, club stuff. It's really good, and just wish the ground was a little bit closer to my house. Didn't think that one through very well. I won't get onto the subject of traffic, but I heard you just mention Mengwi there. I live close to there, so maybe I'll go check it out. And anyway, back out on the field, Fiji, 63 for 7. So it's interesting listening to the Fijian coach saying that before the tournament, they just said, what if we could score about 80? Wouldn't that be cool? So they're getting pretty close now.
Getting pretty close, correct.
But I just love the simplicity of that. It's not like saying we want to score at this amount of runs and over, or that's going to be an average score, or anything like that.
It's not always about winning, but that small wins, like small targets to chase, I think that's a good thing to have, especially if you're still developing your players into cricket. Like you don't want to give them hard targets that they can't achieve, unrealistic target they can't achieve. So obviously,
I sort of used to do a bit of that myself, actually. Just not from what a coach told me or anything, but I'd sometimes wake up in the morning and say, I'd just like to get about 30 today, just to make myself feel good,
Yeah.
Obviously, sometimes that was to my team's detriment because I batted slowly, but just when you get a run of bad scores or something, or put too much pressure on yourself, just worried about your average or whatever. But yeah, so they're approaching that 80 here.
Yeah, so many things happens in cricket, so many things you have to think about. So you just need to focus on what's important for you or for the team, and just go with it.
Do you play cricket yourself, Effie?
I don't play in a organized setup. I do play socially.
Yeah.
It's a tough sport. Have to stand in the sun, out in the sun for 3 hours.
Oh, tell me about it.
Especially when you're fielding. So I love to bat. Like it's once you get the bat, you go in the center. You don't want to give up your positions, obviously. So I love to do that. But the fielding part, it's
it's a bit of a drag, isn't it? I played a game in Lahore a couple of years ago, and as we came off the field, and it was it 8? I think it was 8-a-side, last man stands format.
Yep.
And we batted first, and then when we went into the field, the sun was right out on one side of the ground, and before we taken the field, I just went straight to the other side of the ground, and basically I didn't field a ball for the whole innings. I don't think. I think I was at point, basically on the point boundary, and nothing came to me. I was just basically sitting down. Anyway, so Mapu here is bowling very well. She's got 2 for 15. She's into her last over. Some impressive figures.
Impressive batting from Samoa earlier. I think one of the girls scored 70 something runs. So
Varane.
Varane,
79 she scored. Off about 40.
She could get the if this tournament is over today, like she is winning the best batter.
Yep.
For that. So we do give out best batter and best bowler and best player of the tournament. So it'll be interesting to see on the second leg the day after tomorrow, which girls are getting close into those awards.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been some impressive players. I mean, speaking of impressive bowlers, I'll tell you what, those 2 leg spinners for Indonesia are very good. Bungi and Lee Chow.
Lee Chow, yeah.
Really, really good bowlers.
Lee Chow have the experience in playing the Under-19 World Cup last year, and
Right.
she's actually playing the senior team too. So
Yeah.
obviously she's one of the leader amongst the Under-19 group. Good on her. So yeah.
Yeah, I was amazed yesterday when she got the same batter that we're talking about, Varane, out when Samoa played Indonesia yesterday, and Varane was really struggling against her, and you saw how good she is today, but she was really struggling against both of her and Bungi actually. And anyway, it's Salima coming into the attack now. It's a big full toss, and it was an attempted pull shot by Lala. Anyway, she got a bit of a thickish inside edge and went down to the boundary for 4. But this is going to be a free hit, as that was a big full toss.
Interesting story about Bangi is she's just joined. She's the latest addition to our team. She just joined over a month ago because one of the players got injured. So, and then she made it to the playing 11.
This one struck nicely, but into the deep. And so Lala's entertaining innings comes to an end. She's dismissed for 11. Salima strikes in her first over, off the free hit. Oh, of course, that can't be out, can it? It was a free hit, so good catch, but not out.
So they are chasing 80 runs here.
This one's pulled away once again by Lala. Out to the
So,
boundary.
74. Getting close to the coach's target.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying about Bungi?
Yes, Bangi. So she's the latest addition to our team. So
Yeah, right.
correct.
Yeah. Nusa Tenggara Timur. Wow, she's definitely got ability, that's for sure. And she's bowled this time, Lala. Looking to swing that one away through mid-wicket. And Salima strikes. So she had a catch taken off her bowling off a free hit, so she wasn't able to dismiss Lala off that ball, but just 2 balls later. Interesting, Lala's stance. She stands right across outside off stump. She looks to swing across the line and it collides with off stump. And that is the end of Lala. So Fiji, 74 for 8. So, just on Bungi again. So what? She came over to Bali from NTT and just.
So we had the domestic tournament for women's, and we saw the player, and the coach is interested in her. And then shortly after that, one of the players of the national team got injured. So the coach said, "Well, why don't you stay with us and have a couple sessions?" And the coach were really happy with the sessions, and then she's just fit into our team, and she's actually performing in the practice matches again. PNG and Samoa with, I think one of the games she had like 4 wickets. She took 4 wickets in one of the practice matches. So
she's really accurate as well. That's the other thing I've noticed about her. You know, both her and Lee Chow, they just don't bowl bad balls, you know, and that's one big advantage Indonesia has over the other sides in this tournament. PNG less so, but certainly over Samoa and Fiji is the ability to slow an innings down. Excuse me, slow an innings down with the spinners bowling at the same time. And if you look at yesterday's game, for example, against Samoa, where Indonesia made 71, they didn't defend it in the end. 2 overs, Samoa won with 2 overs to go, but it was the pressure that they were able to build that actually gave them the opportunity. So it's Tokelau now facing Salima. Last ball of the 17th over here, so 3 overs to go after this. So this is also a bit of an achievement from Fiji, batting for as long as they have, as we heard earlier from their coach. And when they first started, getting out for 15, 16. So, but how do you enjoy having a tournament like this here, Effie? I mean, it's got a much bigger level of formality than some of the previous games I've been here for.
Yeah, definitely, because it's obviously we've got some ICC referees, match referees coming here. Previous tournament we've only had PNG to come for that qualifier, so now we have more teams coming in, so happy to see them here. Obviously they travel a lot longer than the other teams like Thailand or Mongolia before this tournament. So yeah, just happy for them to be here and enjoy Bali too, and hopefully put out good words to other teams so we can have more tournaments and teams coming here.
This is Manisi. She's Manasi, I should say, beginning her first over. First ball. Beats Vuli outside her off stump. And this time she swings.
Really good start there for Manasi.
Yeah. And once again a swing and a miss. So Vuli, she's been there for a while. 22 balls she's faced now. Just the 5 runs. It's down the leg side, and Manasi's disappointed with herself there. Holds her face in her hands. She concedes a wide. What sort of traffic are we getting online for the YouTube?
Actually, I haven't seen what traffic, but I saw some comments and people watching from all over the world, like PNG, Samoa, Fiji, Australia, South Korea. So yeah, a lot of people from around the world is watching this game. So I'm in this series. So yeah, happy to see them. Hopefully we'll get more subscribers on the way.
Very good. Very, very good.
I think Toby just
out around the laptop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice. So last ball of this over from Manisi. And this time she gets a wicket off the last ball of her first over. She's finished that over 2 for 1. So Fiji edging towards that, it's not an imaginary target, but an aspirational score that they wanted to get at some point during this tournament. They're getting very close now.
But also the last wicket, so
Yeah.
we'll see which one gets first.
Well, I think whatever
Fiji,
the case, they'll be pretty happy.
Yeah, Fiji should be very happy with the score because finally they scored above 50. So hopefully they get the gist.
A day off tomorrow. Pretty sure about that. I know I'd be certainly looking forward to having a rest after playing for 3 days in a row.
I know PNG and Samoa is going shopping tomorrow. Maybe somewhere around Kuta.
Oh, yeah, maybe
The
beach walk or
yeah,
somewhere.
Yeah, correct. Some of the girls also said they want to go to Nusa Dua to go to one of the resorts and go to the beach.
Ah, very good idea. Oh, it's not too far. Actually, where are the teams staying? I haven't asked you that yet.
They're staying at Bali Paragon, just down below here. It's about like 5 minutes drive
Oh, right, okay.
near the intersection.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, I know the one. Yeah. Okay. So here's Salima again, and it's another swing from Vuli. Lots of smiles out there still. It's wide. So Salima just straying down the leg side there. One further run to the Fiji total. And move on to 78 for 9.
The wide there.
Yeah. 79 for 9 now. Wow, I've consumed some water today. It's I definitely get through a few bottles of water here in Indonesia, or I guess any part of the tropics. Here's Salima once again, and it's another wide. So yes, that 80 has been achieved. So I think the Fiji side, although they're going to lose this match,
With the Samoa win this match, they're gonna go on top with
yeah,
undefeated. So
well, that's the
it'll be
other point,
interesting.
isn't it?
I think like no one would have thought Samoa would come on top at the first, but yeah, good on them.
Yeah. So just a reminder that earlier today there was a win for Indonesia
Thrilling match.
against Papua New Guinea. Yeah, it was a very close run thing in the end. Papua New Guinea's 2-star batters were both dismissed cheaply very early on in the PNG innings, and then Indonesia chased the target down. It's another wide.
35 straight wides from Salima. Maybe she needs to take a breather and try to ball on target.
So Samoa, this will be their 3rd win. Indonesia's won 2.
Yep.
PNG's won 1. And Fiji yet to win a match. So at the end of the first 3 matches, Samoa with 3 wins, Indonesia with 2.
It would be interesting to see the second leg of the tournament, where obviously everyone already know how the pitch is and know every bowlers of each team, so it's more on strategic.
This time she looks to work it away off her pads, does Vuli, but she doesn't make contact. Yeah, and just getting used to all the players and starting to develop a few tactics for certain players. I mean, Indonesia really had I thought their tactics excellent against Varane yesterday, but you know, they just didn't post enough runs when they batted. They just lost way too many wickets too early, and we're always going to struggle after that. It's another wide from Salima. So she's bowled 5 legitimate deliveries in the over. It's 6 wides. So feels like drawing to a close. There's just 1 over to go after this. Fiji's run rate's actually been quite good too. That's the other thing. 4.41. It's actually not too bad. It's actually one of the better scores in the tournament, come to think of it.
Yep.
Of course, the highest score was the 171 by PNG against Fiji yesterday. Of course, Samoa making 155 today.
Yep.
So it's going to be Manasi to bowl this final over. Maui Tonga is on strike. Appeal for LBW, but not really a really excited appeal. Here is Manasi again. That's played away to mid-wicket by Maui Tonga. There's no run there. This time she slaps that one away to mid-wicket once again, and there's no run. So yes, just a couple of balls to go now. 3 balls to go, I think it is. This time is a shout for LBW, and not given. No, not given there. Yeah, 2 balls left. So, just a reminder for people that have been following this match and the previous match today on the Cricket Indonesia YouTube channel. Tomorrow is a rest day, and we'll be back
on Saturday.
Yep, we'll be back on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 9:30 local time. The early game, and the latter game is the 1:30 start. And do you know offhand which is the early game on?
On Saturday we'll have Indonesia versus Fiji, and then PNG versus Samoa. Is that the last one?
And what a great way to finish for Manasi. She takes a wicket. She bowls Vuli off the last ball of the match, and she finishes with 2 for 3. And Samoa, they run out winners here at Udiana Cricket Ground by 51 runs. And so, from me, Andrew McLean, on behalf of all the various people that have been part of the commentary today, we thank you for tuning in, and do come back and join us again on Saturday at 9:30 AM local time.
Thank you, everyone.